What's going on, folks? Joe Holmes here with Baker Street Timepieces, kicking off episode 8 of the transmission. Here alongside.
Tim Holmes, Baker Street South. How do I do one of those things? How do I
Please
make an
don't.
S out of my-
Please just don't. Please never do that again. I would appreciate that. But anyways, happy to have anybody that happens to join us here today. So thanks for coming in here. We're here interested in sharing some time, going through, through some news and some, current events. I guess we'll dive in from there and look at some of our current inventory. And then potentially, if we have some time, we'll go through, what happens when you wind a watch, things of that nature. So hopefully everybody's had an opportunity to get connected and people are having a great weekend. But what's going on with you, Tim?
Not much. Just another busy week. We had a pretty busy week on BST land. A lot of buying, decent amount of selling, which is all good. Which means that next week we will have a lot of new inventory to go through, I think.
For sure.
What else is new? That's really it.
Yeah.
Moving along.
So I know we had an interesting one this week with some random Swatch stuff. So you want to walk through that story?
Hold on. What are we forgetting? It's in bold in the script.
In bold in the script. Well, I'll let you take it over then. What are we forgetting?
We're forgetting to do our wrist check as
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm actually wearing a watch that I bought just about 9 months ago, and it has been in some service vacuum hole forever and a day. And the funny part was, it was a replacement for a watch that I had really not any intention of selling. I just put it up on the website to have a couple extra pieces on the website. Somebody came through and a collector that wanted it and bought it. And so I had to replace it. So this is my Tag Heuer Link chronograph in gray. Nice. And I'm being a total spaz here. Hold on. Let me try to get this better. There it is.
No, you're good. I can kind of see it.
But yeah, so I really love this gray dial. I've been I got it yesterday or the day before, and this is the second day I'm wearing it, and kind of digging it. Always liked the Link. It was always like one of my things that I liked. So
I will say, I think that bracelet is one of the more comfortable bracelets I think I've ever worn. It doesn't pinch. It really falls very, very nicely over the wrist. The way it flexes with kind of your wrist curvature or whatever you would call it, whatever the proper term there is. I think it wears really, really comfortable. It's a cool piece. And that one's super clean too.
Well, this one, once we got it and cleaned it up, it really looks almost new. I mean, it's unbelievably cleaned up. The polisher that we deal with did an amazing job bringing this thing back to life. And then our two respective watchmakers that needed to touch it, because I think in shipping the crown tube broke when it came back from the first service, and then it went back to the crown tube. So now it's 100%. So thankfully, knock on wood, it'll stay that way.
That's awesome.
Now, the coolest part is that now, for those that don't know, the third partner who's always silent, Larissa, my wife, wears my old SEL, which I had gotten very early on as a gift from her, but she now wears it. So now we can be that annoying couple that goes out with a matching set of Tag Heuers and pretend like we're cool that way.
I guess it could be worse. Could be wearing a whole matching outfit,
Yeah, exactly. What do you got? What are you wearing?
So I'm representing the micro brands today. So I got it's probably hard to see here. I'll go ahead and throw it under the lens here, but it's kind of a funny story. So this is a Zella Swordfish. Let's see if I can get this thing focused in here just a little bit for us. And kind of the funny story with this. So 42 millimeters, steel case, sapphire crystal, NH35 movement, NH35, 36, one or the other. Somebody will help me, I'm sure. But just so much value packed into this. I'm just running errands, not really looking for something to, that I'm too afraid to kind of bash on a car door or something like this. Absolute tank of a watch. I love it. And for me, for this particular watch, I thought, I'm colorblind, so I thought this watch was blue when I first purchased it. So I get home, I purchased it from someone local. Shout out Keith if you're around. We went, met up, had a few beers, and by the time when I got home, I showed it to my wife, and I was like, Ashley, what do you think of this? It's kind of a really pretty dial. She's like, yeah, but it's purple. What are you gonna wear it with? And that was what I learned. It wasn't a blue dial. So this is the Grimace, I guess is what they call it. So yeah, just a super cool watch to kind of knock around and if you're looking to do something around the house or something like that. It's good piece to tool around with.
I was gonna say I like the colorway. I mean, if I was going out and rocking something else purple, maybe you get some purple shoes to match. You'll be all set. You could be the dandy wherever
I
you
gotta
go.
find a Minnesota Vikings fan or something like
Yeah,
that. Get this one.
you'd be a dandy with your purple suede shoes, your purple watch, while you're bashing it into car doors.
That's right. That's right. Too bad Elvis didn't write purple suede shoes. Then I'd be right
Purple
on
suede
trend.
shoes. Well, maybe he was not colorblind. So yeah, exactly.
Hey,
And
listen.
then I'll tell the other story you were referring to earlier. So talk about weird situations. So we had a collector that reached out to us, a personal friend of mine that wanted a Mission to Earth Space Moonshine Gold story,
Yeah.
Omega Swatch, partnership here. And he goes, you can only buy it if it's snowing in Switzerland. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I thought he was joking. I looked it up, and sure enough, you can only buy them when it's snowing in Switzerland. So I'm like, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for you. Honestly, we have a Swatch boutique not too far from where I live, but 30 minutes. But I happen to have to go to the Omega boutique, which is in the same shopping center. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if it's snowing in Switzerland, but let me stop in. It so happened to be snowing in Switzerland. So another collector got his itch scratched. We got him his watch. And honestly, it's pretty cool. I like the Snoopy on the front. Obviously, Snoopy has a relationship with our friends at Omega. Very cool looking watch. And shout out to Jamie, who got his watch last week. And I think he's pretty excited to have it.
That's awesome. So did they do anything special at the boutique because it was snowing in Switzerland? Was there like a snow coming down inside or anything crazy?
Nope.
No. It was literally just
I literally walked in and I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a white Snoopy." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I got one." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Can I buy it?" She goes, "Yeah, yeah." I was, okay, so bought it, and there was like no pomp, no circumstance. Although I did have to. She said I was only able to buy one.
Okay.
So they have a limit to how many you can buy. So
there can only be so many snowy Snoopies on the available
so
for
many
purchase.
Snowy Snoopies available for purchase at any given moment. Yes,
I love it.
Other side note, in the Omega boutique, they did have a full bar set up, which is pretty interesting because it was in the middle of a mall, and I thought that was really wild. And they had like a little bar cart set up in the back of the boutique, and they were offering me a cocktail if I wanted a cocktail, and it was pretty interesting.
You could have had some warm ups with some schnapps because of the snow in Switzerland, and then you could have bought your watch.
Like, can I have a snifter of Hennessy VOSOP,
find us
please?
Brandy to buy my Swatch, please. I love that. All right, what else we got on the docket for today? So we got some market desk updates. You want to start diving into some of that, or you want me to kick that over?
Yeah. Let's go through some of that. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so we talked about this one. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say before you roll on, anybody in the chat at the moment? I don't have that up on my screen because we
got a couple people in there.
Yeah, if anybody has an opinion on the Moon Swatch as a general or this specific one, love to hear the opinions. We'll check back with that in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, super cool.
Cool.
All right. So first off, let's see if I can control this correctly here. All right, there we go. So we got a new release. We're going to go through just one real new release here today. There was a couple of other releases across the industry, but we'll save some of that for next week because we do have a segment planned on looking through some watches from the Oscars, etc. But first up, so Christopher Ward continues to innovate. I feel like continues to bring out pieces within that kind of micro brand segment that, people are, as they get interested in watches, I feel like they see some of these pre-owned Christopher Wards. It's like that first step into kind of like the next tier up in watchmaking. And I think they're just really taking advantage of the notoriety that comes along with it. I think last I checked, they were just about in kind of like that top 20 or so for actual watch brands in terms of, units moved. But kind of crazy to think about when you have something like this that started as such like a micro brand, appeasing just a few people, had this like really cult following to it. And now they continue to kind of bring out new pieces. So this is an in-house movement. So something that, they're kind of, creating their own path on this one. And then true GMT. So jumping hour the same way you would find it in, some of the other counterparts at, probably a similar price point at this point, but some slightly higher. I think it's a cool looking piece. I would have thought they would have gone with more of a diver, kind of a nod to some of their other pieces when they went with the first GMT that they were going to come out with from like an in-house movement perspective. However, when I'm looking at it, it's certainly cool looking. They certainly are continuing to challenge in terms of design.
So that's a GMT Chrono, right?
No, it's this is Power Reserve, sub second hand, and then GMT, and then the date wheel.
All right, I kind of like the Power Reserve there. I think it's a cool dial. A little monochromatic for my taste. I like it better on the leather, that leather strap actually than on the bracelet. I think it breaks it up a little bit better. But
I agree. I think that looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, $4,200 awesome. I'm not sure about that, but pretty awesome nonetheless.
Yeah.
Again, one of those pieces. I know I keep saying it every time we run through the new releases. I'm like, I'm happy to look at one of those in 2 days when it's worth $2,200.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Christopher Ward. It's just the way the market runs. Unless your name begins with an R and ends with an X, everything basically depreciates the second you buy it. So, and thank God for that, because then Joe and I have a business, which is awesome.
Well, when you think about it, like what other you work through what other GMTs are available in that price range, right? Like you could easily get the Zulu Time from Longines in that price range, which, I mean, having handled one of those not too long ago, I mean, that's a really, really punching far above its weight class, in my opinion. Or if you're willing to take a dip into the pre-owned market, I mean, this is some Tudors that are available at this price point. I mean, you have some good pieces that you'd have to justify paying that $4,100 price tag for. However, I think, if you're somebody who's been a fan the whole time and want to be part of kind of Christopher Ward's storyline, I think that's when, you'll get the people that'll jump in on something like this.
Well, and I think it's really interesting. I was actually thinking about this the other day. So for those that don't know, we've done 5 Tudor GMTs this month. We've done 3 Pepsis, a Coke, and we have another Pepsi coming in, and possibly even one more after that. So clearly it is a very popular complication. I think Tudor specifically gets a lot of extra attention because they went with the classic Coke Pepsi combo. And with Rolex only having one of them available, maybe because they pulled the one off the site now, which is kind of a curious thing. It's kind of interesting, but this really taking a very different approach to the GMT dial, I think is a bold approach to it. I mean, as a collector and as somebody who always wants to have something a little different in my watch collection, I could see, wearing something like this. Like I said, especially on that tan leather dial, I think that looks pretty cool with the GMT hand being closely matched in terms of color. So,
yeah. No, I think it's great. I mean, 40.5 millimeters, so it's the right size in my opinion.
Right size.
It's going to wear probably a little bit bigger because it doesn't have that traditional dive bezel. It's pretty much all going to be the face of the watch. Just trying to look for Power Reserve because I think 120 hours of Power Reserve.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty
serious.
Is
it low beat? Is it like 25 something?
28.8, and then it's registered.
That's
basically
a lot of Power
regulated
Reserve
out
at
to
28.8.
cost. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So pretty significant in terms of the chops behind the scenes. But again, that $4,100 price point is going to be interesting to see how people feel about that.
And for those who aren't as horologically focused, I know we got into a little bit of a number speak there. That was the beat is the amount of times that the what do you call it? The escapement moves per hour. And so 28.8 is a very respectable beat rate. And to have that much Power Reserve with that much beat rate is pretty high horology. So
yeah, cool. So anyways, cool piece. All right, and now I think we can dive fully into watches from the Oscars.
Yeah, where's Frank? our friend Frank was out at the Oscars. That's why I'm joking about it. But yeah, that's not.
Well, maybe
Frank.
He could tell us his favorite watches. He probably wouldn't. He probably wouldn't have much interest.
So we're gonna run through a couple of watches that were worn by quote unquote famous people at the Oscars. Our task to those in the chat. Call them out as you see them. Do you like them? Do you hate them? We'll give an opinion. And then there's one that I think is kind of silly, but maybe somebody else will think it's the best thing that they've ever seen. I like this one. It's a good starting spot.
Well, this is not technically our starting point, but that's fine. So Teddy Baldessar obviously compiled a list of some of his favorites. We're gonna go rip through those, and then I would say Tim, we wait to the end and we basically say our favorite. How do we feel about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, sure.
All right. So first up is Matt Friend. I unfortunately am not the most up to date on all the celebrity gossip, so not super familiar with him, but comedian and actor apparently.
There he
Um,
is.
I mean, listen, that's a heck of a start, that's for sure.
I was gonna say yellow gold Daytona with a turquoise dial. Sure. What's not to like?
Yeah. I got no problems with it. My only problem is, are we really wearing rubber with tuxedos now? That's a little much for me.
Yeah, that's a bold statement. It's a bold statement.
Great watch, I'd love it, but I don't know. It's a little interesting for me.
My hot
Go ahead.
take on Daytona is that all Daytonas should be either white gold, platinum, or stainless steel. So I'm not a yellow gold
Oof,
guy,
hot
but
take.
that's just me. That's just me.
Okay,
Hot take.
okay.
Rolling on.
Um, yeah, I don't know. That's my only kind of reservation on this one is like I think this would have looked really great if it was all gold, but I understand Oyster Flex. A lot of people love it, and I
Yeah,
feel like apparently they should be wearing it with tuxedos. Next up, Hudson Williams with the Bulgari Serpenti, I guess it's called.
yeah, that's what
Um,
it is.
that's a wild piece. I thought more of a historically ladies piece, but I guess we can break the norms. That's no problem.
It is, yeah. So it's a 35 millimeter diamond. I think it's very cool looking. I think it's a bold choice on his part to wear it.
Yeah.
Um, and then at the end of the day, it is a fashion brand that is basically not doing anything very exciting as far as horology is concerned. So, yeah, I mean, totally cool. I'm into it.
I just think for me, where this watch lands on his wrist, like kind of almost on his hand, I think it just
Hmm.
looks a little strange. I mean, listen, it wouldn't be a piece that I would wear. Obviously, it would look ridiculous. I probably couldn't even get it on. But at the same
Hmm.
time, like I just think like that to me is a little odd. But hey, good for you. Took your shot. I hope you got some
Yeah,
compliments on it, and that's that.
yeah, yeah.
What's up next? Oh, this is just craziness, huh?
Oh boy, I
So
don't know what
Kevin
any of
O'Leary
that
with
is.
two watches, of
I'm
course.
Of course. I'm a little distracted by his choice of dinner jacket.
That's not a dinner
Yeah,
jacket. That's a way of life.
goes to show that you could have over $1 billion and still no taste. Did I say that out loud? I meant to say that in my inner head voice. Yeah, let's move along. But what are
All
those?
right.
I don't even know what that is. That's some sort
This
of a
Cartier
Daytona variant.
Crash, Cartier Crash, and then that's
Okay.
a Daytona with the factory set ruby bezel, is my understanding.
Okay. So he's got the first part right. It is either stainless steel platinum or white gold, and I'm guessing it's white gold. So he gets a plus on that side. I would actually wear that Daytona in very, very, very select circumstances. Um, so
Sure.
there's that. I know red is his thing. I'm surprised it's
Yeah.
not on a red rubber strap. That's usually his thing. Rubber Bee and him have a partnership or something, right? I think.
Is it Rubber Bee? I know he's definitely a big rubber strap guy, and red
Yeah,
is
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure the
I can't
color.
remember if it's Rubber Bee or the other. What's the other big brand that does Rolex rubber straps? I can't think of
Oh
it.
God, I know the one you're talking. I'll think of it. Keep going.
Yeah, yeah. And that Cartier Crash, that's also pretty interesting for somebody else. It's not for me, but I see where it's going, and what really I want to know about is the car crash that took place that made that jacket acceptable.
Oh God. Um, yeah. So neither of these watches are for me per se. I can certainly respect the heck out of the Cartier Crash, and I can also, I mean, anything factory set like that is ridiculous. I'm sure in person this watch looked absolutely insane.
Yes.
But neither of these pieces would be for me specifically. But
Nope.
um, that's kind of where I'm at on that one. Tyler just gave us a shout in the comments. What's up, Tyler? How are you doing?
What's up, Tyler?
Here we are, moving on. Leonardo DiCaprio, Rolex 1908 in platinum
I'm
with that
going out
ice
on a
blue
limb here.
guilloche. I mean, it's a cool watch.
Going out on a limb here.
Go for it.
I'm not a fan of the mustache. Not sure where that's going.
I love it.
But the 1908, I'm a fan of the 1908. I would
Yeah,
wear that watch. I don't have a lot of call in my life for a dress watch, but as we pointed out with the rubber strap, the rubber strap on the Daytona under a tuxedo, this is what belongs under a tuxedo. And
yeah.
kudos to DiCaprio for figuring that part out. I would wear that watch.
I think out of all the pieces that we've seen so far, I think this is probably the only one when looking at it in the photo as it's staged with the tuxedo on, sits there and said, okay, that makes sense. Like,
Yep.
everything
No,
else so far has just been wild. But
minus the push broom on his lip, I think he's looking pretty sharp there.
I do like this the little lapel pin though. I don't know what the
Me too.
significance is, but it's cool.
Not at
All right, so we agree we are okay with that.
Yep.
Ryan Coogler with the Cartier Tank French or something like that. I won't go and embarrass myself by pretending I know it. But that's the Jump Hour Cartier, if I remember correctly.
Yep,
And that is platinum.
Very cool looking.
Yeah,
Love the
I'm in.
burgundy strap. Again, that's not a formal watch to me. I would not wear that in that setting in that way.
Where would you
But
wear
I do
it
like
then?
the watch.
This is like an everyday wear it with jeans type of watch to you?
No, I don't know what that is, but it's not formal.
So
Now,
it's
if it
not
had a
formal or
black,
cable?
if it had a black, well, so I mean, the whole point of the way that that's designed is to be very rugged, but it's still
Mm.
dressy, right? Like it brings to mind the GLC Reverso, like the concept of a polo watch where you flip it over and it's more
Yeah, of
dressy, and
course.
then you flip it the other way and it's protected. I think if it had a black strap, it would have looked better. Unless he was going to color coordinate that red somewhere else in his outfit, which I don't see there.
Maybe
I
have
think
red
the
shoes.
red, maybe it jumps out to me. Anyway,
I
I like it.
I think it's a cool looking watch. I actually don't mind it as much with the suit. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yep.
And that's the type of watch where people are going to stop and say, "Oh, what the heck is that?" Obviously, it'll be given away by the crown, but still at the same time.
Yep.
Michael B. Jordan, vintage Piaget.
So I took one look when I scrolled through this quickly before to just get my bearings on it.
Yeah.
This one jumped out at me. I'm not usually a yellow gold guy. Not generally a Piaget guy because that was kind of 20 years ago. I don't think they've done anything super relevant recently, and if anybody's really wearing them, but I think that watch looks nice.
I agree. I personally would never wear it. It wouldn't work for me, my style or anything, but I think this is well done. I think it looks great, fits the outfit. I think it's class all around. No complaints with it whatsoever.
Hey, listen, we're going to get an Irishman mad at us if you keep calling him class. We're going to have Nico ringing us up saying we're biting on his thing.
It's classy all around. We'll leave
Classy,
it at that.
there you go.
Yeah. No, I think it looks cool.
It does.
Obviously, ladies watch, Amy Madigan. I like it. I think it's super classy once again. Mother of
What's
Pearl
that, a
Diamond looks
constellation?
like.
Constellation rip?
What's that? That's
a
technically
constellation?
the ladies Aquaterra.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's the two-tone Aquaterra. So that's
Interesting.
moonshine, and then it's diamond bezel, diamond indices, and then mop dial. I think this is great. I like it a lot.
good. Very nice looking. Yep. I'm with it.
Nicole Kidman going with the vintage Omega piece. Again, I mean, I think if you're Nicole Kidman, you can do whatever you want. But I think what people don't remember when they look at a picture like this is how small that is. That's probably like in the 20 millimeters.
Yeah. No, it's nice looking. Again,
I mean, you can see it barely on her wrist over here. It's small.
Yeah. Well, she's like 6 foot tall, but she's super, super thin. So I don't know. I don't know what that means, but that's what I'm noticing.
Saying circa 1966. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Timothy Chalamet. This was probably the most, I would say, unknown brand. I would say that we saw in the list. I mean, I don't know too much about it. Has call for me to do a little bit more research, but I think it looks really cool. I don't know.
I can't read it from here. What does it say? Something Jurgensen?
So it's Urban Jurgensen, yep, and it's a
Yeah.
UJ2, and basically, I guess, I mean, it's not piece unique, it doesn't seem, but it is, obviously very, very rare. Kind of a couple of these, it looks like, come out a year.
I'm hot taking again with his suit. I think that watch looks great.
Yeah, the white strap is the only thing that's throwing me, but I think it's a really cool looking piece. I love it. It looks like those blued hands. Yeah, super cool. I like it, and I'm a sucker for.
I know. When I first saw it, I thought it was going to be a Breguet, but the word was too long on the dial. So, but it definitely reminds me of Breguet.
No, super cool. Conan O'Brien, right down the middle, huh? Well, as right down the middle as you can be, I guess, with a nice piece like that. But yeah, with the Land Dweller.
I'm hot taking again. I hate the Land Dweller. Not interested in it. I think
Hot
Rolex
take.
really hot take. I think they made a mistake chasing the dragon with the integrated bracelet because everybody else was doing it. It reminds me of the old Oyster Quartz which I never liked when it was. I mean, it was around when I was born, but it was, when they were doing another take on like trying to follow a trend by putting a quartz watch out. Yeah, hot take. Don't like the Land Dweller. Conan can keep it.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know. I think it's got a place. It's weird, like that integrated like half Jubilee, half like AP style or whatever it is like different. I remember when we were traveling when Ashley was running one of the marathons, we went to a Rolex store and it was like one of the first Rolex stores in France that had gotten this in, and I was actually able to try on both sizes. It wears pretty nice though, I will say. That's the only thing. Like I again, probably not my style, but it's a super nice and super comfortable watch.
I take my hat off to modern Rolex bracelet design. They've taken very classic designs and improved them dramatically over the last 10 or so years. Like put on a modern Jubilee bracelet and then put on an old one. Like if I try on my 1975 Datejust and then I put on Larissa's 2000 and whatever it is, 22 or whatever it is, it's just night and day. It's unbelievable.
No, I get it. All right. And then we have Kumail, and he's got the VC Overseas Perpetual Calendar Ultra Thin Skeleton.
Yeah. I mean, that's a timepiece right there.
I love it. I am sold.
The thing's got to be like $150,000 to $200,000. I have no idea how much it costs. But
they don't have it listed here, but yeah, I love it. So personally, for me, I always loved. So one of my Grail watches, not to get too far down the path, VC Overseas Chronograph in rose gold with the blue dial. I think that looks incredible. Okay. I love it. So I mean, I was gonna like this no matter what. But I mean, this is just wild. I wonder from this. They said ultra thin. I do wonder what the thickness is. It doesn't seem like it's sticking out much, but it does seem like it's outside of the cuff a little bit. It could be just the way his arm is. Super, super cool watch. But I don't know. What's your take?
I'm hats off to the horology aspect of it, and I have nothing else that I want to do with it. I don't want to wear it. I don't want to own it. I don't want to. It's not for me.
I love it. All right, here we are. Shaboozey with a Chopard.
Yeah. I mean, I think he knocked over a jewelry store. That thing's crazy.
I like it.
That's nuts.
I wouldn't wear it. I like it, but I wouldn't wear it. So I guess this is also traditionally a ladies' piece. But I don't know. I can't imagine. I mean, that bezel looks significant. those diamonds.
Those look like half carat all the way around. You're probably talking about, it looks like 20 of them quick count. So yeah, that's a lot. I mean, Chopard's known for their diamonds and their dials. One of their big things was the happy diamonds. Yeah, it's cool. Not for me.
No. I don't know. I'll be interested to see if Tyler chimes in on this one. I know he's a big jewelry and diamonds guy, so he'll have to let us know. The lesser known Culkin, I guess, for Hublot Classic Fusion Chronograph King Gold 42. I mean, I think as Hublots go, this is probably as least offensive as you can get.
Yeah, this is the second week in a row hot taking it. I've liked both Hublots we've seen over the last 2 weeks. And I'm not an anti-Hublot guy. I owned one, and in fact, I regret selling it. I kind of wish I had it back. I might buy another one.
All right. And then Zendaya with a ladies Datejust white gold all diamonds. I mean, I think, again, if you want all diamonds, I think this is a perfect way to do it. I don't know if we want to spend more.
And the watch is nice too.
Yeah. And then
that's my bad, but the joke. What?
AP Royal Oak Perpetual White Ceramic. I mean, it's a sick watch.
Looks great underneath that white. Looks great.
And I think that's what we got. So, all right. Favorite
what
watch.
Did the chat have to say?
I think Tyler said that those big rocks would be stupid expensive on that Chopard, which makes total sense.
I'm sure it was very expensive.
So what's our favorite watch from the Oscars, Tim? You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go back to Michael B. Jordan. That Piaget, I think, is money. I'm not overly a vintage guy, but I think that watch, the way it looks, I'm not sold on the Nehru collar suit with the watch chain that doesn't go to. I'm not sold on the whole look, and I actually think Michael B. Jordan generally has very good style. But that would be my pick out of that crew. as far as the watches are concerned. I think that's hot. And the very quick behind it is the 1908 that Mr. DiCaprio is wearing. Those are
Yeah.
my two.
So probably not a surprise based on how I talked about it. My favorite watch of the bunch is the VC Overseas Perpetual. However, in this circumstance, I think my favorite watch of the bunch is the 1908 in platinum, because I think it just makes the most sense for this particular event and kind of the formality of it that goes along with it.
And one of the really cool things that Rolex has always done with their platinum is always paired it up with that ice blue dial, and I think that is pretty slick.
Yeah. I mean, the guilloche on the dial, I already said it a couple times, I'm a sucker for sub-second hands. I think this just wears perfect. Yeah, Tyler said the AP moon phase, he'll take a few, or the VC as well. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm not. Okay, I wouldn't turn him down.
Tyler, I'm not arguing with you, but that 1908 is really, really good looking. In fact, in terms of practicality, the 1908 to me is the better buy. I don't have no idea how much that Piaget vintage is worth. It could be worth $1 billion. It could be worth next to nothing. But it would be hard to wear it in other than a very formal setting. Whereas that watch, you can do a lot with that watch. You can wear that watch pretty much every which way you want to go with it for the most part, which is pretty cool.
We had Mike who chimed in and said DiCaprio's watch was the best. And he said, and fun fact, it was older than his date for that night.
Yeah, that's, well.
We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there.
Right, and then last piece we had in terms of inventory, not inventory, in terms of kind of some interesting things from the Oscars was, I guess it was Robert Pattinson with this mystery watch, which has been kind of going around some of the chats as to, who it's by, what it is, exactly all that stuff. I think there's been a couple of different pieces of speculation. There's been a couple of different name brands that have thrown around, but I guess JLC was the number one that people thought of. They thought VC initially, but their bracelet didn't really match up. So I don't know. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, so apparently everybody thought it was a take on the VC Overseas with a new design, but that's pretty much eliminated because the links look different.
Yeah,
pretty much everybody now is expecting that it's going to come out as a JLC integrated bracelet look, being released at Watches and Wonders in a couple of weeks. I'm not a huge integrated bracelet guy. I think that watch looks pretty badass, to be honest with you. And it's got a similar level of complication as that other one that we were just talking about, the Kamel watch.
Overseas. Yeah,
the VC Overseas that he was wearing. So, I mean, listen, I think that watch looks better. I'm hot taking it again.
Oof. Okay. I don't necessarily know that I disagree. I'll be interested to see what better pictures of this look like, and interested to see when it comes out, kind of what it is. But I'm sure we'll bring you that news when we finally get it from the industry. So I think that concludes that segment here. Any final takes? Anybody else in the chat that has any hot takes on which their favorite was?
I just want to say Shabuzi a few more times.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Shabuzi.
If you say it 3 times, he shows up,
Shabuzi. I don't see him. Let's get into some new watches. Let's show some people what they can buy.
Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it here. All right, so what's the first watch up? I think that's me.
You're up. Yep.
Oh, no, it's you.
Nope, it's you.
All right, fine. It'll be me then. Let me load it up.
I mean, I don't have the watch, so I can't show it.
You could try. All right, here we go. So let's see if we can make this a little bit better in the framing here. Hold on, while we talk about it. And we got some glare on it. Let's see. There we go. That looks a little bit better.
A little better.
So this one is case 288. This is an Omega Speedmaster 40 millimeters. Blue dial, blue bezel. I think for people that love the idea of the Moonwatch, want something a little bit smaller, a little bit more manageable, and frankly to save quite a bit of money, this is a great option. Still gives you that kind of racing DNA, racing heritage to it. Still have that tachymeter scale around the outside, which is known for, which Speedy is known for. But at the same time, you get some different size options and things like that. So I'm a fan. I was happy when we got it in. Unfortunately, this one's a little small for me particularly, but I think it's a great piece all around. What's your takes on this?
Yeah, I like what used to be referred to as the speedy reduced. I don't know what they call them nowadays, but the 40 millimeter.
Hmm.
I like the matched bezel to dial. I think this particular one is a little subdued. Some of the other blues that Omega have done have been a little bit more bold. Um, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think this is a little more subdued and probably makes it that much more wearable in multiple situations.
Yeah.
And I also like the fact that, for the most part, you can get a Speedmaster look on an automatic, and that kind of maybe goes into the topic we'll talk about later with winding. But, automatics, if you're going to one watch it, it's just really nice to have a watch you don't have to think about. You just wear it and
Yeah.
you wear it, and it goes for that long. So, yep,
Yeah.
I like it. Gets my vote
Yeah.
of approval. Send it to me if you
Sub
don't want to wear it.
Subdials look great. It's got that kind of like some sort of patterning on kind of that internal circle there. And
Yep.
generally speaking, I think so. This one's watch, box, all three cards, inner and outer box. This is 288 and available on the website. So
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's like right around 3K.
yeah, exactly right.
It's a ton
Under.
of watch for 3K, man. That's a lot of
Yep.
watch for $3,000. Really is.
Yep. Cool. All right, I'll flip it over to you. You ready?
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, that looks funny.
Yeah. Let's try to fix that.
Hmm.
What'd you do?
I don't know. We'll have to figure
Well,
that out.
that is a Tudor blurry. We'll let Joe. I'll talk about it while Joe tries to see if he can sort out the picture for us. So that's case 286. It's a Tudor Black Bay Chrono Panda. So the white with the black subdials. There we go. It's looking a little better. Now it's just a band of a watch. Uh, all right, better still. 41
Yeah, we'll figure
millimeter
it out.
steel case, tachometer bezel, racing inspired. Is very similar as far as the previous chronograph is concerned. In-house 70-hour power reserve, which is really, really nice. I like that Joe had his chrono running. I always have my chrono running. And I think this is the baby Daytona. This is that watch where you get a lot of the look of a Daytona without having to spend a tremendous amount of money. And, it's another one of those watches you could wear it for 2 lifetimes and it's going to be just that great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that that kind of classic panda styling on there, I think is perfect. I like the two subdial configuration, especially this one, kind of with the horizontal config. Generally speaking, I think this particular Tudor knocked it out of the park, and I think the panda configuration continues to grow in popularity. So, super
Yeah.
cool piece.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We have this, and we have another Tudor chrono, right? We have a Tudor all steel or all metal chrono as well.
Yep. So we have the Panda version with everything, so full, complete, and then we have the regular all steel version of this, which is watch only, and
Watch
both
only.
are in very nice shape. So people are gonna be happy with either of those.
Awesome. All right, if you
Cool.
can pause for a second, I'll pull up the Behemoth.
Yeah. No worries.
There's going to be another one of those ones that I have to hold it in place because it's the way that it's
It's got that funky
done
strap
up.
thing going on.
Yeah, it's got the funky strap. Yep. Oh, hold on. Maybe I can do it this way. Hold on. Let's see here. All right. Let's see if I got it in the middle.
Yeah, you're pretty
Nope.
close.
You know what they say? Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. You got
That's
to
right.
zoom that out because this is a big boy.
Why don't I zoom that out for us and see what we can do with that?
Please. Gosh. This is case 291. This is the most recent piece of inventory that's come in. This is our Breitling Avenger Seawolf. Overbuilt to the nth degree. This is the Breitling answer to the deep sea divers. This is a 3,000 meter water resistance. You got, I mean, it's as thick as it is wide almost. It's 18 millimeters thick, which is like a skyscraper sitting on your wrist. 45.4 millimeters wide. This wears like like it says, wears like a piece of equipment, not jewelry. It's kind of funny that it's that yellow color too. It's like, I associate that with like construction sites and whatnot. If you're a big boy, you got a big wrist, this is a watch for you. Caliber 17 Breitling automatic. very simple, easy to service. Again, we'll give you a couple of
Yeah.
lifetimes of heavy wear. And then, a nice dive bezel so that if you need to know how to time something with the dive bezel, which we're going to jump into at some point, you got that going for you. But it's on a cut uh, rubber Breitling strap. So this will fit. It's got a micro adjust. It'll fit somewhere between about 6 3/4 and 7 1/4 inch wrist. And then if somebody needs something different, we can always source another strap for you so that you can get the exact right fit for yourself. So.
Yeah. It's too bad we don't have one of those like super close up microphones where we could rotate the bezel and see what it sounds like, because it's like a literal ratchet set that you would find in your garage when you move.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When we test them when they first come in, that's part of our testing routine is to make sure that everything works. And when I turned the bezel on this, I was like, wow, that's pretty satisfying. It's like bubble wrap except in bezel form.
Yeah. No, serious dive watch. Cool looking piece for sure.
Cool.
All right, we're moving on over here to, we got case number 283, which is a Tudor Black Bay 58. So this is 79030B. Correct me if you haven't seen a Black Bay on this channel before. Yeah. So we've had a bunch of the black references in recently. This is probably the first time in a little bit we've had the blue in. Again, just to me one of the most perfect watches you can buy, kind of in that 5K sweet spot. But aluminum bezel, I would say on this one, it's a very, very, very small nick at that kind of like 10-11 spot. Other than that, this watch is in really, really very nice shape. Comes with watch, inner, outer, warranty card, manual, etc. And again, this is that MT5402, which is COSC certified, gives you pretty much everything you would be looking for from a timekeeping perspective. And it's that perfect blend of kind of heritage and modern watchmaking. So I don't think we need to belabor the point. We've probably talked about these ad nauseum. People are probably tired of hearing it. But I will say these super popular, demand continues to go up on them. And prices continue to go up on them too. So yeah, if you want this watch, I would say good time to get one.
Good time to grab one. I've got two quick points of view here. Number one, while the black gilt version of the 58 represents what I think leans towards the classic, this leans so modern with the kind of that blue on blue look. Definitely, brings it a little bit more modern looking. And then number two is just a joke that I have to tell because, obviously we run a retail business and there's always people that come through that make really funny offers. I had a guy telling me the other day, he goes, yeah, I've been tracking these. They sell between 1,900 and 2,000. So what's the best you can do?
Not anymore.
Not that, my friend.
Maybe 4 years ago you might be able to get one for not even that though. You'd still be low twos, but the prices are not
exactly
there
yeah. I kind of just got a chuckle out of that one. I was like, no, I think I'm going to pass on that price range. Thank you very much, considering we paid considerably more than that for it. So.
Fair enough. All right, so I think we got one more in here, huh?
Yeah, this is the big one here, guys. So it was the watch I was wearing at the beginning of the episode. So if you were on early, I have 9 months ago, I bought this watch. I've now had it serviced 3 separate times since I've owned it. So I've never had a chance to wear it. I had it polished. Then it needed its hands realigned. And then it needed a crown stem. But it is a Tag Heuer Link chronograph. This is a Valjoux 7750 variant. So real bulletproof. And now that I finally have it, I'm making a debate. Do I keep it? Or do I take this very freshened up, recently serviced and polished and ready to go to somebody else and have it be a catch and release? So if anybody has an opinion what Tim should do with his Tag Link, throw it in the comments section or put it in the comments on the YouTube channel. We would love to hear the feedback.
I think the funniest part about this watch, other than its service journey and unfortunate service journey, is the fact that the entire time it was all these little nuanced things and the watch was running almost 0 seconds per day the whole time.
Oh, it runs 0 seconds, yeah.
It was perfectly accurate, but first it was just like, oh, the crown stem was loosened. It's just too much cacophony.
Yeah, it's been that kind of an annoyance. I will call out one additional thing here. It's very common to find this watch in the white variant or silver dial variant. It's common in the blue variant and it's common in the black variant. But what doesn't come across really well here is this is the gray variant, and it's got a really, really neat kind of pattern on the dial, and that's why I bought it. So I don't know. I do generally like having a Link variant in my collection, but then I saw, and I almost bought it today, an older SEL COSC automatic. And the SELs were almost exclusively quartz. They made a very small handful of the automatics. So I was like, oh, that's kind of rare. And I had shining object syndrome. So that's kind of what motivated me to say catch and release, or do we keep it and move on? So love to hear what the comments are, if there are any.
Nice. Well, I think that concludes kind of the Tales from the Desk here. I know next week's Tales from the Desk, hopefully we'll have to we'll cut it short for you guys, but we should have, I think, at least 8 pieces coming in the beginning part of the week. So if you're an Omega fan or a Tudor fan, I would say tune in. And then we have probably another 4 or 5 coming in towards the back half of next week as well. So a ton of stuff coming in, some older Speedmaster, some more modern Tudor, and then like pretty much the whole Seamaster lineup. So you'll have a bunch of fun stuff to look at next week without spoiling too much of it. Awesome. But yeah, what do we got for Under the Lens today, Tim?
I was going to say, so real quickly, I think we should run through this fast because the majority of people probably do know this, but it's an entry-level thing, and that's how to wind your mechanical watch versus how to wind your automatic watch. So your manual and your automatic, what's the difference? Why are they made differently? And, kind of, how to live with them. So I guess I'll start from the fact that long time ago, when watches were first coming around, there was no such thing as a battery. So there was, or if they were giant, right? So you needed to have something to power the watch, and they used something called a mainspring. And the mainspring is basically just a tension piece that you wind through the crown, and that's how you get it to tick, right? That's how you set the whole mechanical piece in motion. The original watches were mechanical or manual wind, meaning that you wound them up and then they would run through a cycle, and then you would have to rewind them. And you could wind them during any point during that time, but you need to always wind them. And what most people did was wind them when they got up in the morning or before they went to sleep, and then the watch would continue to run. Then, and I'm trying to remember what the first automatic is. Do you remember what the first automatic was, Joe? I know the first really popular one was the Oyster Date Rolexes. I know that was like one of the really popular ones. But Rolex likes to make it out like they're the originators of things, and they never usually are. But
I have the first commercially successful automatic. But let's see here.
Yeah.
Maybe the chat knows. Anybody can chime in if they find out. Let's see. I'll look it up. Keep going.
Anyway, so the major difference is that on the back end of the movement, they put a counterweight that spins. So if you ever shake a watch and you can hear kind of something moving around inside of it, that's the counterweight that will wind the watch automatically. So as long as you're wearing an automatic watch, it's automatically winding itself as you go. So that's the main difference between a manual and an automatic watch. So what's really cool is that if you put an automatic watch on, and we talk about this all the time with the Tudors, right? And if you wear that watch religiously day in, day out, theoretically, it never will need to be wound at all. It'll just keep keeping time. And if you get one that's COSC certified or Meta certified, it'll keep its time within a second a day, basically for as long as the oil holds up inside the movement. So
couple of seconds, but yeah, same idea.
Couple seconds, yeah. Did you find the answer to first automatic?
There are a lot of different pieces here, but it says the first commercially successful automatic wristwatch was invented by British watchmaker John Harwood in 1923 and produced in Switzerland in 1926 with Fortis. Interesting call to a brand there.
Who knew?
Utilizing a bumper rotor system pivoting 180 degrees to wind the mainspring with wrist motion, setting the standard for self-winding technology.
There it is. So, and then the other thing to be aware of, when you wind a watch, especially a more modern automatic, they have a device in there to protect you from overwinding it. Because if you overwind the mainspring, you can actually do damage to the mainspring, and then you wind up with a very expensive repair. So on an automatic watch that's, I'd say, within the last 50 years, they have a thing that pulls the gear out so that you can't overwind the watch. On a mechanical watch, you need to know when you've fully wound it. So it has a very different feel, and you
Mm-hmm.
do not want to push past that feel because it will could potentially cause some damage. So let me know if I did justice to that conversation, Joe, if you have anything you want to add.
No, I think it makes total sense. I know when you,
Yep.
I have the manual wind Panerai, and when you're getting towards the end of it, you notice it start to get really, really hard to twist it. It's like it's almost its way of telling you like you're done now, bud. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
don't,
yes.
don't do it.
Don't do
But
it.
yeah,
Don't do it.
absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and then the other thing to note is when you use a crown, I'm assuming most people have set a watch before, but when you pull the crown out, the first step is where you wind it. The second step is usually where you set the date, and the third step is where you set the time. So for a three function watch, that's a pretty typical way that the crown functions. So.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's all I got from there. Anything else you want to throw in on that section? Otherwise, I think we're in a good spot.
No, I think that makes total sense. Hopefully, people got and if there's interest in us doing kind of more of a deep dive into some of the mechanics behind the watch, I mean, we can do some of that. We're certainly not watchmakers, but we can give you the basics. But
Yep.
other than that, we're happy to cover other areas or topics that you think make sense too. So,
Yep. I got
that's all
one
I got
last
for today.
shameless.
What do you got?
I was going to say I got one shameless plug, and then we can shut it down. The third member of the Baker Street team is fast at work putting some new merch together. So if you haven't checked the merch store out, there's going to be some new available offerings. I know a quarter zip is on its way. And I think a couple of other things, maybe a polo shirt is the rumor that I heard, and a couple other things may be coming. So if anybody hasn't checked out the merch shop already, feel free to do so. There's some cool stuff there. Joe's repping the pullover hoodie right now. And yeah, that's all I got. That's my shameless plug.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate everybody for joining us for today. Thanks for the interaction in the chat. And other than that, until next time, I think we can close this case up. What do you say? Case closed.
Close this case down.
Thanks all.
Thanks all.